Born and raised in Fresno, California, I am no stranger to diversity, especially when it comes to religion. With 52.9% of Fresnans practicing some form of mainstream religion, we see a multitude of spiritual representation in the Central Valley. The majority of religious individuals in Fresno are Catholic at 32.6%, like myself. 6.8% are Christian other. 4.3% are Pentecostal. 2.9% are Baptist. And 2.4% are Mormon. And we can't forget about our Muslim and Buddhist communities that play such an important part in Fresno's religious diversity. Fresno, being the 5th largest city in California, has quite a lot of religious organizations focused on bringing together individuals from many different spiritual backgrounds, overall to help better the community as a whole. Interfaith Alliance of Central California, or IACC, is one program I had heard of and wanted to learn more about. Upon research, I learned that IACC's goal is to come together as individuals of different faith traditions to offer unique perspectives on how to bring the community together. IACC works to ensure everyone can practice their First Amendment right to freedom of religion. The key aspect of IACC is the group of individuals themselves, all of different faith backgrounds who work together in the community to achieve their goals. I had the pleasure of speaking with Norman Broadbent and his co-chair, Irfan Ali. During our interview, I learned quite a lot about IACC, and one of the most important things being their core values.
We have sort of 4 core principles, the first of which is to recognize our religious distinctions and to celebrate the uniqueness of each one. The second is to be a voice for minorities, those who don't have a voice, to step in and to provide a voice there. The third is the maintaining separations of church and state. And then the fourth value that we've held to has been promoting civility in public discourse. And because of that, I've had an opportunity, I know personally, to be invited to public forums.
I also learned about just how important it is to normalize there being other religions all in one community.
One of the biggest benefit, I think, of this group is normalizing us as groups. Because we're not knowing each other. People say, "Oh, Jews are like that, or Muslims do this thing," typing it, or doing that. Mormons are like that, And when you really know by name these people, and we have gone to their houses of worship, and we rotate around, and we educate each other, and all of a sudden, when it's Ramadan, and we haven't done this year, but we had all religious leader, and we come over, we have together, and then if we have Hanukkah, we're showing up to our Jewish rabbi's home, and we do, so it brings so much variety and life to my life, at least.
Irfan and Norman emphasize all they do for the community, like responding publicly to instances specifically of hate to protect the affected, creating discussion panels at Fresno State to show that religions can work together, and they even are working with other interfaith groups to discuss concerns in the community. One thing IACC strives to do the most is be a safe place where you can have conversations, and the goal is always to help, no matter what belief one has.
The whole idea behind it, like interfaith, whether you have, we have people who come in who do not believe in any form of God, and that's fine with them. Come in, conversation, because if somebody's in need and they need help, we help them. It doesn't require that you have to be a Muslim to help only Muslims. And of course, if you're in need, where we help you, and everybody agrees on that. These are some universal values which we're born with them.
One particular story that stood out to Norman was pertaining to a high school chapter of FCA.
There was what was it called? Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and they had a high school chapter.
Okay.
And there was a young woman who was very active in that group. Wonderful athlete, outstanding student, and the chapter elected her to be president. But we then learned that because she was of the Mormon faith, the higher-ups in Fellowship of Christian Athletes said she cannot hold that position at all because as a Mormon, not a Christian. And we heard that, and so we wrote a letter in support of this young woman. And many others also came to her support. But we were part of a coalition of voices that eventually got that decision reversed.
In that case, and so many others, IACC was there to be a support system, and for Irfan, the community being one is what makes the Interfaith Alliance of Central Valley what
Having
it
a
is.
community, we have a lot of community, right, in this interfaith. For me, it normalizes all these communities as one. Before it was like, oh, they're Jewish or they're Mormon. For everybody has a little tick because they heard it in their own communities internally, or some sort of bias to parents or friends, or Central Valley has their own little bias compared to Bay Area and so on and so forth. And you're in Cal Poly has a little different twist of local politics and culture than Central Valley you grew up in. And so, and that just kind of sort of part of natural growth of every community. But what this work does for me, it brings all these communities to, it makes same for me. It's like it's normalized all these communities that, wow, what a great, it's like having a buffet where you kind of have all these different foods, and sometimes you kind of look at somebody else's food and go like, oh, we don't eat like that. And when you go to buffet, like, I want to try that.
Yeah.
You realize, like, wow, it tastes really good. It doesn't look right, but it tastes really good.
So I guess the takeaway is that IACC is like a buffet of all religions, where every faith can be represented all on one plate, and that's totally normal. Local and national levels of IACC stand up for all religious perspectives and are a voice for those who need one, just like the individuals of our local chapter do all the time.